Good morning, Porsche fans. It's December 2nd, around 20 past 10 in the morning. I thought I would just take a short video of what I've been doing over the last week or so in preparation for a long trip my wife and I are planning on doing south. I live up in Western Canada. Anyway, as we all know, there is a problem with EGR buildup, contaminated intake manifolds with carbon and this black oozy material that's part of the oil misting. You can see here to the left, this is the Mann ProVent 200 oil catch can that I installed about 2 months ago, and also posted the installation on the Rentless forum. Decided to take that out, make it easier to get all the other components. So basically I've disassembled all the intake or the intercooler components as well as the intake system. I'm just waiting for some new O-rings to install from the dealer. And then I'll be putting everything back together. I guess one could use the old ones, but for the price it's not worth it. One of the interesting things is, we all know we have two intercoolers, passenger and driver's side. About 3 weeks ago I was installing some dual color LED bulbs, and I thought, okay, because you've got to take the inner fender guard off, I thought I'd just quickly disconnect that passenger side lower intercooler hose. Well, I ended up getting about 250 milliliters of oil draining just out of that one area. And of course that's no good, but it is part and parcel of a system like this, diesels in particular, and any oil coating on any components has a big effect on cooling, especially in summer months if you're down in the hot parts of North America. So the way I ended up cleaning I'll just move around here to the engine compartment. You might be able to see things here. I've got, I have the top intercooler on the passenger side taped off just so I don't drop anything down there. So I figured out the best way to do it is to spray copious amounts of Varsol. Just a cheap, probably like turpentine, it's another name for it I guess, but Varsol from Home Depot. And it's just a spray bottle, just flooding it with a bucket underneath, catching all the fluid. These two pipes here are from, that's Y fitting from the charge side of the turbocharger, and it splits between that and going to the individual intercoolers. Anyway, so I did that on both sides. A little bit oily. Well, it's a cleaning solvent for paint and stuff like that. But so then I ended up just spraying brake cleaner through the intercoolers themselves until it came out clean. But of course you don't want to leave that moisture sitting in there, although eventually it would evaporate. So I just hooked up my shop vac, rigid shop vac with a large hose. That's the right size for the port. Turned that on and basically blew out the same force. As you well know, you just reverse the hose on the vacuum. Blew out at the same force as it was coming out of the line. So did that for about 5 or 10 minutes on each unit, and yeah, so now it's all clean, ready to go for the assembly. I feel I'm going to this will make a big difference. Back in November 2018, or most of the summer of 2018, we had an issue with our diesel, and its EGR valve coolant side kept on tripping a code, and it took the dealership quite some time because they're following the guidelines of Porsche Canada and then Porsche Germany. and it turns out that it was a sensor, but sorry, not a sensor. They replaced the sensors. A little valve that's buried deep underneath in the V of the engine. You couldn't really see it that easily. It was only when the technician, they had another Cayenne kind of stripped off for something else, and I just did a comparison test and discovered that yeah, ours wasn't opening as much. That solved the problem. But in doing so, they replaced the EGR valve, the ECU, a whole bunch of things that Germany sent out, and also cleaning the intake manifold system. So I was surprised when I've got a couple of photos that I took of the air tube here, which is now super clean. This is I guess the butterfly valve that was starting to get oily. That was why I decided to go a little bit farther. And then this is connects to the intake manifold where the intake ports are split. So they were quite contaminated and oily, and we'd only done approximately probably it was less than 10,000 kilometers. So yeah, I was quite shocked. So now I've got that thoroughly clean. Anyway, that's what I'm up to. I'll try and get this posted on the site for everyone to see. Thanks.